Have you ever looked in the mirror one quiet morning and wondered, when did I start feeling so tired? You still do everything you've been told. Eat your vegetables, walk every day, stay positive, and take your vitamins. Yet your body whispers that something isn't quite right. You wake up feeling heavy, your legs cramp at night, your heart sometimes beats too fast or too slow, and you can't remember the last time you truly slept through the night. Most people over 60 shrug and say, that's just aging. But what if I told you that it isn't? What if I told you that much of the weakness, fatigue, anxiety, and sleeplessness we associate with growing older comes from one quiet deficiency that nearly 80% of adults have, a missing spark called magnesium. This small mineral, invisible to the eye yet essential to life, powers more than 300 functions in your body. It keeps your heart in rhythm, your muscles flexible, your nerves calm, and your energy steady. Yet, as the years go by, this crucial mineral quietly slips away through stress, medications, and even the very foods we trust to nourish us. The tragedy? Most people don't notice until it's almost too late. I learned this truth not from textbooks, but from faces. The faces of people I've met, spoken to, and cared about. Years ago, during a wellness seminar in Madrid, I met a man named Carlos, 67 years old, with eyes full of fatigue, but still carrying a spark of hope. He told me that every night, just as he began to drift into sleep, his calves would seize with unbearable cramps. His wife would rush to massage them, tears of frustration mixing with pain. He'd tried potassium, he'd tried salt, even warm milk. Nothing worked. He said, "Doctor, I've lost count of how many nights I've stood by my bed praying for the pain to stop." When we talked more, I realized Carlos drank 3 cups of coffee daily, had been under chronic stress, and was taking medication for high blood pressure, all known to deplete magnesium. I suggested small, simple steps, adding magnesium-rich foods like almonds, spinach, and pumpkin seeds, cutting down caffeine, and taking a gentle magnesium glycinate supplement at night. When I returned to Spain a few months later, Carlos was in the audience again, this time smiling. He lifted his hand and said, "It worked. I haven't had a single cramp in weeks. I feel young again." His relief wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. He had regained control of his life, and all it took was understanding what his body had been asking for all along. That moment stayed with me. Over the years, I've met many like Carlos, strong men and women in their 60s and 70s who did everything right but still felt wrong. They blamed their age, but the real problem was hidden deep within. Magnesium deficiency isn't loud or obvious. It creeps in quietly. At first, it's just a restless night or a muscle twitch. Then it becomes fatigue, forgetfulness, irritability, or even high blood pressure. You think it's stress. You think it's just life. But inside, your cells are slowing down because the mineral that fuels them is missing. I've seen it in the eyes of patients in Lisbon, in community centers in Italy, and even during health camps for seniors in my hometown. The symptoms are always the same: tension, exhaustion, and that subtle feeling that your body is no longer on your side. But magnesium isn't just another supplement. It's the rhythm keeper of your body. Think of your body as an orchestra. Your heart is the drum, your muscles are the strings, your brain is the conductor. Magnesium is the quiet rhythm that holds it all together. Without it, the music turns to noise, disorganized, anxious, and weak. And the cruel irony is that the people who need magnesium most, older adults, are often the ones who absorb it the least. After 60, your digestive system slows, stomach acid weakens, and even if you eat the right foods, much of the magnesium simply passes through your body unused. Add in years of coffee, tea, alcohol, stress, or common medications like diuretics or antacids, and you're unknowingly draining the very mineral that gives you strength and peace. I remember another story, Teresa, a kind woman from Barcelona, 71 years old. She was active, sharp, and independent, but she struggled with constipation. A friend told her that magnesium could help, so she bought a supplement and started taking high doses daily without consulting anyone. Within a week, she began to feel dizzy, weak, and nauseous. Her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where tests revealed dangerously high magnesium levels. Teresa's kidneys were too weak to clear the excess, and she was admitted for emergency care. She survived, thankfully, but the experience taught her, and me, a powerful lesson: even the best nutrients can harm when misunderstood. After she recovered, Teresa said something that has stayed with me to this day. "I thought I was helping my body," she whispered, "but I didn't know I was overloading it." Her story is a reminder that wisdom isn't in what we take, but in how we understand what we take. In my years of speaking with seniors across Europe, one theme has remained constant. People want to do what's right for their health. They just don't know where to begin. They trust advertisements, they buy bottles of supplements, but few realize that not all magnesium is created equal. Magnesium oxide, the cheapest and most common type, barely absorbs. Your body keeps only a fraction and flushes out the rest, often causing diarrhea. If your goal is strength, calm, and better sleep, you need the right kind: magnesium glycinate or magnesium malate. These forms are gentle, well-absorbed, and nourish your cells where they need it most. I've personally seen seniors who once relied on sleeping pills find peaceful rest again, simply by correcting their magnesium intake. I've seen anxiety fade, heart rhythm stabilize, and energy return, not through magic but through balance. And that's what magnesium teaches us: balance. It's not about taking more, it's about taking wisely. The recommended safe dose for most adults is 100 to 200 milligrams daily. If your doctor advises more, it should never exceed 350 milligrams from supplements. And it should always be taken with meals, never on an empty stomach. Magnesium works best like a steady stream, not a flood. Split it between morning and night. Let your body absorb it slowly, the way nature intended. Health isn't about quick fixes. It's about gentle consistency, the kind that builds strength day after day. But here's something deeper. Magnesium doesn't just heal your body, it calms your spirit. It lowers stress hormones, relaxes your nervous system, and helps your brain produce serotonin, the chemical of happiness. I've seen people regain not just their strength, but their smiles. They wake up lighter, calmer, and more patient. Even their families notice the change. It's as if a fog lifts. And that's when I remind them, your body and your mind are not separate. When you nourish one, you heal both. In my own life, I've experienced this too. Years ago, I used to suffer from sleeplessness and tension during my long hospital shifts. I thought it was just stress. Then I began studying the effects of micronutrients and realized that my own diet, full of coffee and fast meals, had left me magnesium depleted. Within weeks of adding magnesium-rich foods and supplements, my sleep improved. I stopped waking at 3 a.m. with my mind racing. My energy became steady, my focus clearer. That personal experience turned me into a believer, not just in supplements, but in awareness. Because health isn't just about what you take, it's about what you understand. The older we get, the more our body speaks, through stiffness, sleeplessness, or fatigue, but too often we ignore it. We try to silence it with pills instead of listening to what it's trying to say. Magnesium deficiency is one of the body's quiet cries for help. It's not dramatic, but it is persistent. Every cramp, every twitch, every restless night is a small message saying, I'm running low on what keeps me alive. And once you restore it, the difference can feel like stepping into sunlight after years of cloudy skies. So what can you do starting today? First, don't rush to the pharmacy. Begin with your plate. Add spinach, avocado, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Reduce processed foods and cut down on caffeine and alcohol. If you still feel weak or anxious, consider a small magnesium supplement, the right kind, in the right dose, with the right awareness. And most importantly, talk to your doctor, especially if you have kidney issues, low blood pressure, or are on medication. The goal is not to add more to your life, but to add wisely. Let me share one more story, this one close to my heart. In Seville, I met Lucia, a retired music teacher in her late 60s. She used to play the piano every evening, but had stopped because her hands cramped and her energy faded. I feel like my music is gone, she said softly. I told her that music, like health, needs rhythm, and that magnesium might help restore it. 3 months later, she sent me a video, her hands gliding over the keys once again, her eyes bright with joy. In her message, she wrote, "It wasn't the piano that was broken, it was me. Thank you for giving me back my music." That is the power of understanding the body's hidden needs, the ability to bring back not just movement, but meaning. So I ask you, when was the last time you truly felt alive, calm, and rested? When did you last wake up without stiffness or worry? It's not too late. Age is not the end. It's the beginning of awareness. When you start treating your body with respect, when you feed it the minerals it silently begs for, it rewards you with energy, peace, and years that feel fuller and lighter. Magnesium is not a miracle, but it's a reminder that even the smallest things can change everything. And before you go, I want to share something from my heart. Every person I've met, from Carlos to Teresa to Lucia, taught me one thing. Health after 60 is not about chasing youth, it's about rediscovering balance. You can still walk tall, sleep deeply, and smile brightly, but only when you listen to your body and give it what it truly needs. If this message touched you, if it made you pause and think about your own health or someone you love, then don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the Seniore Hub. Let's build a community where growing older means growing wiser, stronger, and calmer. Together. Your story matters. Maybe your journey will be the next one that helps someone else find their way back to strength and peace. Because sometimes all it takes is one small mineral and one small decision to change your entire life.